Two things. If I can also ask about this, over the weekend we did see Netanyahu make rather explicit, again, his opposition to a two-state solution. Do you or does the administration not take that opposition at face value when Netanyahu is saying that he does think this is all irreconcilable with the Palestinian state?
We can and have, and I'm sure we'll have very frank discussions with Prime Minister Netanyahu and his cabinet about the future of the Palestinian people. And what Gaza looks like post-conflict. And as I said earlier, that doesn't mean we're going to agree with everything. I'll let the Prime Minister speak to his comments.
I guess I'm just struggling to understand. It seems like the President supports a policy, or this White House does, and then the Israeli Prime Minister is coming out in direct opposition to that policy. And I don't understand.
Well, is the suggestion that we should then change our minds? And we should not advocate for it anymore?
Does the President think that he gets there? That's what I don't understand. Or is he thinking that he gets there without Netanyahu?
Well, only the Israeli people determine who their elected officials are going to be, not the United States. That's one. Two, the president still believes, and he's, again, not Pollyannish. He knows this is going to be hard stuff, and it has proven extraordinarily elusive to date. But he believes that it's in the best interest of our Israeli friends to have an independent Palestinian state. Now, how that looks, what that looks like, whether they have a military or not, those are discussions that need to be had in the region and with leaders on both sides. But he still believes in the power and the promise of it, and he has for many, many years. So we're going to keep at this. We're going to keep these discussions going. It's also important to remember that Israel is in the middle of a hard-fought fight here with Hamas, and we got to make sure that they can continue to defend themselves.
Can I ask one unrelated question as well? On Friday, you were asked about a Palestinian-American teenager who was killed in the West Bank. I think you were trying to get some additional information. Do you have additional information? I'm just curious how you all are interpreting that situation, and if the administration has been in touch at all with his family.
I don't know about family communications. I'll come back to you on that one. That's a good question. But we have been able to get some more information about this. Certainly a tragic killing by all counts that we've been able to glean so far. Our deepest condolences go to the family. He was 17 years old, just a teenager. So our thoughts and prayers certainly are with the family. And we call on Israel to conduct a full, thorough, transparent investigation into his killing. And of course, we have every expectation that those responsible for it will be held properly accountable. This kid is 17 years old. Talk about another family that is going through some enormous grief right now.
Go ahead, sir.
After last week's meeting on Ukraine here at the White House, the Speaker of the House implied that President Biden did not articulate a clear strategy for Ukraine. So does the White House have one, and what, quoting Speaker Johnson, is the end game for Ukraine?
Look, I can't speak to what the Speaker has heard or read or understood from the countless discussions that we've had with members of Congress about Ukraine and what we're trying to do here. It's been pretty transparent and pretty clear. We want Ukraine to win this war, as the President has said. We want a whole, prosperous, sovereign Ukraine. We want Ukraine's borders, internationally established borders, to be fully recognized by everybody, and that includes Mr. Putin. And we want to be able to continue to give Ukraine the support that it needs so that it can achieve those outcomes. And we've been nothing but clear about that. I mean, and with every package that's gone out to Ukraine, there's been a consultation with Congress. There's been a conversation. We've been very clear about this. And we have talked to the Ukrainians throughout this last 2 years. It's hard to believe we're coming up on 2 years. Meeting their needs along the way, we want to continue to do that.
What do you make of Speaker Johnson's comments, repeated comments?
The Speaker can own his comments, and he should be the one answering questions. I can tell you, we have been nothing but clear and consistent with members of Congress since the beginning of the war about what we are doing to help Ukraine succeed on the battlefield and what we're going to need to continue to do. I mean, we can get caught up in all this, the comments out here on the microphones, but the next couple of months are going to be critical for Ukraine. I mean, if you think that the fighting is just going to stop because the snow's falling, think again. And the Russians continue to fire drones and missiles at Ukraine. And while the battlefront hasn't moved a lot on either side, there's still a lot of active fighting going on there. And Ukrainian commanders, I believe, can be forgiven right now from having to make some pretty difficult decisions about what weapons they're going to expend, what shells they're going to fire, what missiles they're going to use, because they don't know when the next shipment's going to come. And that's a horrible place. That's a horrible place to put the Ukrainian military in, as the Russians certainly aren't suffering under that same uncertainty as they reach out to North Korea for ballistic missiles, and, by the way, continue to fire them, and drones from Iran and producing on their own.
Thank you.